So day 4 of 21-day quantum body reset. And just click, I'm just trying to make sure everything's on. Okay, let me start clicking more buttons. So day 4. So we're just going to bring in, we've talked about it a little bit, but bringing in the awareness of sensation, which we talked a little bit about. And sensation is just, how do things feel? Hot, cold, sharp, full, or even no sensation, right? There is that where parts of the body can feel numb or we're not very connected to them. And then that then allows us to move more towards the felt sense, the overall felt sense of a little deeper, so a little more into, oh, that feels, I feel dizzy, or I feel nauseous, or that feels uncomfortable, or I feel that it maybe not just physical, that it might be more an experience in the body of, or a more general feeling. That feels harsh, that feels sharp, that feels, I don't want to go there. I don't want to do that. Maybe there's resistance. Moving us a little closer to just an orientation in our body of emotional or emotional body, right? And the experiences, our emotional experiences are emotional experiences that aren't processing through the body or are old, that are held in our matrix. And just something to notice, right? Not something to do or fix, just observe. Okay, so I just wanted to do a few moments of breath before we stand. So making sure you're comfortable. If you're sitting in a chair, feet on the ground, if you're sitting cross-legged on the floor, having your hips higher than your knees, feeling that your back feels long but supported, even if it's, right, not the support of the chair, but the support of your own back. Maybe the head back enough so it feels over the shoulders, shoulders feel over the hips. Feeling the sense of weight in the hips, weight in the legs. Even noticing here, is there something that feels uncomfortable? Is there something that feels just, there's less awareness, or a little, I feel just a little tingly in my back where my bra strap is. Jaw, tops of shoulders. And if you want, close your eyes. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling slowly and exhaling slowly. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. Inhale through the nose. Smooth, steady. And exhale through the nose. One more, and even that transition between exhale and inhale, smooth that out. Smooth inhale, and then smoothing that transition from the inhale to the exhale. Good. Next inhale, nice and smooth and slow. This time exhaling through the mouth. And again, that smooth transition from nose to mouth, inhale to exhale. And from exhale to inhale, inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Almost slowing down that transition between exhale and inhale. Inhale through nose, exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the mouth. Exhale through the mouth. Nice and diffuse breath. Inhale through the mouth. Exhale through the mouth. 2 more breaths on your own like that. Again, looking for smoothness, ease, noticing any qualitative difference, pressure, speediness, calmness. And then relax the breath. And in this space, just notice your quality and whatever that means for you. If you gauge as far as like speediness, what is your speed level? Is there a smoothness to your own system? Is there a slow vibration, a fast vibration? If you were gauging in terms of color, what color are you right now? Cooler or warmer? More opaque or transparent? Temperature? Or even just the sense of thoughts fast, thoughts slow, body tired, body rested. And then let's slowly transition our way up to stand. Okay, just taking a moment upright and feeling that difference. Good, we're going to do something a little different, feet a little wider. Good, you can turn your toes out a little bit, and I'm just going to start to shift my weight towards one leg and turn towards the opposite leg. Just slowly to start, just to let the feet and the ankles and the knees and the hips adjust to the movement. And again, you don't have to breathe perfectly, just noticing moments when you hold your breath, when you blow the breath out quickly, when you pull it in quickly. And then let's add the arms. Let the arms swing a little. Do a little tap. Just tap a little on the body, on the side of the body. Right? Maybe there's a little tap in front or in the back or the side, depending on the length and the length of your arm and the length of your swing. Your eyes can look forward, right? So your torso will turn in opposition to your neck, which is more still. Or you can let the head turn with, or a little bit of both, just to see how the neck is moving. And then let's bend the arms a little bit so the tapping comes up a little higher, more organ, stomach, liver, kidney, spleen, pancreas, gallbladder, even if the organs have been affected, even the energy of the organs. Good, and then maybe bending the arms a little bit more so you get a little lung, maybe possibly back lung, lower shoulder blade. Lung and heart. And very speed, slower, faster. Let's bring the arms back down towards the organs. Right, you can go kind of lower rib cage or waist, or even just a little bit lower. And then onto the pelvis. Again, with shorter swing, might get lower belly, ovaries, buttocks, outer hips. And then slow it down. And then coming to center. Just noticing what you notice in your body and your awareness. Okay, and then let's come down to the floor. All right. I'm gonna lay on my back again. And actually, let's grab a blanket. Sorry. This is probably one of the, besides a chair, we might use, this might be one of our only props, but I'm gonna use one blanket. I'm just gonna put it off to the side for a moment. And lay on my back. Extend the legs for a moment. Let one leg just turn in and out a couple times. Heavy leg, heavy buttocks, heavy calf, heavy heel. And then let that leg settle. And again, the roll can be really slow, right? Sometimes more speed. Right? You just have to see how it works in your system. Sometimes more speed creates more kind of springiness in the tissue, sometimes slower just allows things to untangle more, but you just have to feel how your body responds. The answer lies in how your body responds. And then let that leg settle. Good, letting the head just gently roll from one side. And center. And other side. And center. Let's take the arms out to the side, straight out from the shoulders, the knees. Feet a little wider than hip distance apart. And we're going to do, instead of breaking it down today, we're just going to let the knees tip to one side. Right, so even though the knees are tipping, the weight of the thighs is still kind of drawing towards the pelvis. So pelvis is heavy. And knees slowly, slowly tip back to center. I'm also going to let the head roll same direction as the knees. So knees tipping. Again, the weight is still almost pouring to the pelvis. Little weight shift to that same side of the rib cage and the same side of the back of the head. And slowly center. And slowly other side. And slowly center. And slowly to the other side. And center. And I'm just going to roll onto one side and take that blanket and bring it under your head, whatever height you need. Although sometimes less is a little bit more. Good. I'm going to take the bottom arm, the arm shoulder that's against the floor, that arm forward, and the top arm, just bending it, bringing the hand on top of that bottom upper arm. Knees stacked, knees somewhat up in front of the hip. Good. And I'm just going to take the top arm, upper arm, and just move it. Right. So I'm really just taking the shoulder forward and back. Forward and back. So the torso isn't moving very much right now. I'm just moving the shoulder girdle, collarbone, shoulder blade, upper arm, just forward and back, just feeling how that moves forward and back, forward and back. And then just pause that movement and just let everything settle. And then I'm going to press that bottom shoulder into the ground. I'm just going to push against the ground and let that, right, almost activate the upper back. So the shoulder blades might spread a little. You might have a sense of more length in the upper back. The waist might not be all the way on the floor. The neck might feel long. And then just let that go. Let the ribs rest back into the floor. And then again, press the shoulder into the floor. The ribs might lift. The back might widen. The chest might widen. You might just feel length through the whole spine, including the neck. And then let that go. And one more time, press. And keep that press and let that top shoulder move forward and back again. So you have that kind of integrity through the upper back as you move the shoulder forward and back. Good, and maybe even let the ribs start to roll with. I'm still pressing into that bottom shoulder, but I'm letting the ribs almost move around that bottom shoulder with the top shoulder. And then relax all of that, let everything settle. And then just let, again, without pressing into the bottom shoulder, let that top shoulder and ribs just roll forward, breastbone to that bottom arm and back. And you can even play with the sense of elongating that arm as the ribs and top shoulder move back. And be subtle, pretty gentle. Good, and come back to center. Good, I'm just going to take that arm and angle it down. Top arm is still on top of the, connected to the upper arm. And I'm just going to do a slightly shorter version of that. I am going to take that upper arm shoulder, top arm shoulder, down or following the line of that arm that's angled down. So it's forward and down and up and back. Forward and down, up and back. A couple of times. And then pause.
And then again, I'm going to press into that bottom shoulder, just finding some integrity. You can even let the head tip forward a little bit. Integrity through the upper back. And do that a couple times. Release and engage that bottom shoulder into the ground. Release and engage. And then take that top shoulder forward and down and up and back again. Maybe even let your body roll forward and back, engaging that bottom shoulder into the floor. And then relax the effort, all effort. And then letting that top shoulder again move forward and down without pressing that bottom shoulder into the floor. So I'm just rolling the ribs side to side, but that upper shoulder is moving with. You can move again, breastbone falls towards that front arm and then away, maybe even just a sense of reaching or length through the arm as you roll back. Just notice what you notice in the roll of the head, the neck, the ribs, the waist. Coming back to center. Good. Maybe even just stack the hands for a moment. And then I'm going to angle the arms slightly up. So the head is a little looking up, neck in a slight extension, upper back in a slight extension. And you can minimize that by having the arm less up. And again, I'm just going to take that top arm shoulder girdle forward and up and back and down. Forward and up and back and down. And pause and just press that bottom shoulder into the floor, engaging the upper back and neck, the width of the back and chest, and relax and engage and relax. And then keep the engagement and just move the shoulder girdle forward and up and back and down, and then let the ribs join in. Maybe a small roll forward or a little bit bigger, depending on what's happening in your body. And then find center, relax the bottom shoulder, shoulder against the floor. And then again, move that shoulder and rib cage forward and up, back and down. We're following that line that you created with the arm that's on the floor. Again, soften it, smooth it out, especially if there's sensation. And then come to center. And let's just roll, take that top leg, just slide it behind you a little, roll onto your back. Stretch your legs out. Just notice what's happening in your body. The speed or awareness, color, or sensation, or even just sense of alertness, awakeness, or connection to all the parts of the body. And then let's either roll onto the other side or reorient to the other side. Good, bottom arm forward. Top arm, hand on the upper arm. more directly out in front of you, and that shoulder girdle starting, just moving forward and back. And just noticing the difference in the movement or sensation or breath or pull, and then pause, and again pressing that other shoulder into the floor just to bring some integrity into the upper back, into the spine. Maybe you feel more length through the neck. And then release and engage a couple times. Making any adjustments that feel just meet that sense of organization. And then press and hold and move that shoulder girdle again forward and back. This side is very sticky for me. And then letting the ribs also roll forward and back. It could be back towards the shoulder blade, onto the shoulder blade, if that feels available. Again, that reach of the underarm. And then relax the bottom shoulder. Feel everything soften a little bit more, and then roll, same thing. Again, that same sense of reaching through that arm that's on the floor. It's a quiet reach, it's subtle. With the rotation through the ribs, maybe even through the waist, neck. And then coming back to where we started, I'm just going to angle that arm down, maybe even tip the head down. Taking that top arm shoulder girdle forward and down and back and up. You can start with just the girdle moving without the ribs. Just feeling how easy that movement is, or confusing, or wonky, or smooth. And then pause and focus on the other shoulder, just that organization. See if you can create almost a communication through the whole length of the spine, through the neck into the upper, the thoracic. And then relax and engage. And relax and engage, and then keeping that engagement and shoulder girdle moves, just the shoulder girdle, and then bring in the ribs forward and down and back and up. With that head slightly forward, with that reach through the arm that's on the floor. Good, and then coming back to center, soften. Good, let's angle that arm slightly up, head slightly up. Again, you get to decide how much up your body is comfortable with. Good, that top arm shoulder blade, just moving forward and up and back and down. And pacing is really important. So if my pacing feels too fast or too slow, adjust. I always like to err on more slow. I am going a little bit more quickly just because of time today. So if you need to do less and make it lower, that's also really, really helpful to understand about your body. And pause there, a little engagement with the shoulder into the floor, and release, and a little press and release. Again, noticing the organization, or what do you need to shift in order to find a sense of organization through the spine or through the back, the relationship between the two shoulders, or the breath. And then keeping that engagement, just the shoulder girdle, forward and up, back and down. Good, and then the ribs also moving. Good, noticing the difference in range of motion, or I'm feeling more protectiveness on this side. Right, that's more of a felt sense, right? Or weakness. Or discombobulation in my neck. Good, and then pause, relax everything. And then again, rolling without that lower shoulder engaged. Again, exploring that reach of the lower arm, the turn of the neck, the ribs. And what are you noticing in your body? And then pause. And let's take that top leg behind you, rolling onto your back. Let's take the blanket out from behind the head. Good, just letting the head roll gently to one side. Nice and slow, feeling the weight of the head on the floor and feeling the shape of the back of the head as you roll, rolling back to center. Or does the back of the head feel smooth or bumpy? Or the neck start to get thick? Or if there's more sensation. And then slowly, slowly back to center. And then just a little tip of the knees to one side, just shifting the weight onto that hip and rib cage, head slight turn. And center. And tip to the other side, knees, ribs, head. And center, and stretch your legs out, bring your arms down a little bit, just letting your weight drop back into the floor. And letting your body be supported, dropping back into that support. Wiggling fingers and toes. Moving hands and feet, bending arms, legs, folding, rolling. And bringing your self back to